Okay, so you're approaching your first marathon, which is insanely exciting, right? You might be getting a little bit nervous, but as someone who has done this 7 times, and 2 of those I was not the happiest, and 5 of them I have been the happiest person ever running. Here are some of the tips that I think are the most important, and it really actually comes down to 2 at this point, 2 big ones. And number 1 is to focus on your mindset the week leading up to your race. What I mean by that is really fall back on what are the running mantras that have helped you on your long runs. Those are going to be really key when it comes to the marathon itself. Because just like you have learned in training, running for that long hurts, right? Like there's no way around it. It hurts the elites, it hurts novice runners too, but it's pushing through that and knowing the difference between, well, it hurts because I've been working at this for a while and I'm tight versus I just injured myself, right? So I think focusing on your mindset and what are the mantras that really work for you, the ones that are my favorite, I always fall back on running the mile you're in. The 100%, that is my go-to. Nothing matters except that 1 mile, because that's the only one that I actually have control over right then. One of the things that I also do before the race is I break it up into sections and I do a lot of visualizations of me working my way through the course. I don't tend to want to drive or to run the route beforehand, but I want to think about, well, like, let me look at the course map. How can I break this up? Okay, well, this is like section 1 is here. Then we have like little dog leg over here. Then we'll be through this area of town. And then I get to see so-and-so. Having these little benchmarks takes a 26.2 mile run and breaks it up into like a 5 mile section, a 3 mile run, 4 more miles till here. And if you only need to think about single digits, similar to run the mile you're in, only think about that one, you ignore the fact that all of that stacks on top of each other. That's how you accomplish the race. You don't think about, I'm going to run for 4 hours or 3 hours or 6 hours. You think about like, okay, I'm just going to go run this mile. And once you get to that mile marker, okay, we're on our way to 2, or we're going from 20, we just got to get to 21, right? If you visualize yourself throughout the course, and then on top of that, I add in like, how do I want to feel at these points? Personally, I run marathons because I want to have fun. I genuinely think it's fun. I like to see the signs and the dogs and my family along the way. So, or my friends if I see them, or I just end up talking to strangers, but like it's a fun atmosphere. I travel a lot for races. So I have done my marathons in various elevations, in different climates, in different cities. So I want to enjoy it, right? Like, yeah, it's going to hurt, but like we want to have fun. That's the whole point of doing this. So imagining how you want to feel, and then also how do you want to feel at the end? Sore but not dying, tight but really happy, flipping amazing because you just accomplished something. Like really visualize that. And I do this for about the 3 days before the race. It has been a complete game changer in where my head is at going into it, as well as soon as 20 gets hard and then 22, I think about how I want to feel at that finish, or what did I think I was gonna, like, what was my plan for how I wanted to feel at mile 24? And I focus on that. And it really gets me through those tougher points, along with just run the mile you're in. The only thing that matters is getting to that next mile marker. That's it. Just get there. And then the second thing that's really under your control outside of your mindset, remembering your mantras, is your nutrition. I'm really big on like everybody says, you don't try anything new on race day. That is a fact, right? Whatever you've been doing on your long runs, stick with that. If the race has certain drinks or chews or gels at the aid stations that you have not been training with, you don't do them, right? You need to bring your own, you need to carry it, you need to ask friends to hold it for you, whatever the case may be, but you got to stick with what your body knows and what you know, right? Because these 2 things really are connected. And the last thing you want is GI issues because you tried something different. The other thing is it's the pre-race nutrition, right? So you already know those things. You're going to stick with what it is you've always been doing in your long runs because it's worked. It's gotten you to 20 miles. If you can get to 20, you can totally get to 26. The 3 days leading up to the race, though, carb loading is super important and was a total game changer, not only in how I felt after mile 20, but also where my head was at. When I talk about carb loading, I'm talking about adding in, eating your normal, what I hope is a heart-healthy diet, right? Lots of vegetables, lean protein, lean fats, but then you add on top of that additional simple low-fat carbs. That is rice, add extra serving to it, more bread than you would normally have, adding fruit if you don't normally have fruit with your diet. adding crackers as a snack instead of no snacking, which might be the case during the day. Now you're gonna sit down and have a handful of goldfish, my personal favorite. Graham crackers, add an extra piece of bread with your sandwiches. These are ways to sneak in extra carbs that will help you because your body's gonna store them as glycogen in your muscles so that when you get to mile 20 and you can't take in as much calories as you actually need and are expending by that point, your body is going to be able to kick in and use these. And I'm telling you, I have felt so much better after mile 20 on the last 5 marathons than I did on the first 2. So it was a total game changer. A wonderful nutritionist I can recommend that you follow and get in touch with, who has taught me all these wonderful things. But if you can do heavier carb loading, again, low fat, it's going to protect our heart, okay, but high carb elements, refined carbs, you need to switch to juice or smoothies. If you have a hard time like I do after physically eating things on that last day, it's totally fine. But you want to increase that before you will feel like a champ come mile 20. Yes, it's still going to hurt, but you're going to be able to push through. And it has led to me actually being able to shave 2+ minutes off my pace for that last 10K by comparison to how I'm running for the first 20 miles of the race. So it is. If you can control your mindset and focus on having fun and getting to that finish line happy and healthy and really fueling up your muscles with carbs in the few days before, you're going to have a great race and really enjoy it. Then you want to do it again.